Gabby,
Hi.
thanks. Regan is here, Taria, Travis, Amaya, Austin, Shake, Lindsay, Cindy. Is Cindy here? Bella, Eros, Yarikuyai, Fernanda, Angela, Kate.
Here.
Here.
Thanks a lot. Alicia, Marlo, Bree, and Mackenzie. I know you're here. Okay, I know you're here. Okay. So why don't we go over some of the poems? Let's go over the poem. Maybe. Does anybody have that poem? Maybe. Page 48.
I do.
Well, let's see. So 48. Let's go to the page 48. Could you read it slowly first and then do kind of a conversational reading of the poem, the stanza or the 5 lines, excuse me?
So you want just the first 5 lines?
Only the first 5 lines. We don't have time for more. Yeah.
Maybe it was the billboards promising paradise. Maybe those 59 miles with your hand in mine. Maybe my sexy roadster, the top down. Maybe the wind fingering your hair, sun on your thighs, and bare chest. Maybe it was just the ride over the sea split in 2 by the highway.
Okay, you read like 7, 8 lines. That's okay. Was that the fast or the slow reading or the conversational reading? Lindsay. Okay, I was asking you to do a slow reading first and then a conversational reading. Okay, just in case. Just in case for the next readers. One thing that repeats in the poem is in this poem is the word maybe, maybe. Notice maybe, maybe. And Lindsay, could you read the last 3 lines, please?
Yep. The last 3.
Yes.
As we might be, maybe I should.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
As we might be, maybe I should have said something, promised you something, asked you to stay a while, maybe.
So the whole poem revolves about this idea of maybe. And I would translate this as what if? Okay, to understand the poem really, if you think about what if this had taken place, then you will catch the main idea or the concept behind the poem. Okay, what if? And maybe a way of completing the sentence can be, what if I had done this, but I didn't, but I did not. There is one reference that we can, for example, midway through the poem, it says Carl Jung, and the line reads, with crossword, forever obsessed with crossword puzzles and Carl Jung. Quick explanation, Carl Jung was a psychologist, okay? And there is a lot written by him and a lot written about Carl Jung. In case you wanna know, Wikipedia, I'm sure will give you tons of information, but that's a quick reference. This person was obsessed with his readings on psychology. That's what the poem is saying, okay? And then, what is this maybe, or what if? What do you think is happening, Lindsay?
Like he's like thinking back to like what he should have done.
What should he have done?
Like said something.
To get what? Said something to someone, right? To
Yeah,
get
it's like,
something. So who is that someone, and what should he have tried to get?
like maybe like his girlfriend, and he probably like should have told her like how he felt.
His girlfriend?
Because isn't he like talking about Like, is like, I don't know.
Okay, who's he kind of talking to? Let me clarify that quickly. Notice that at the top, I wanted to mention this for all your poems, just in case, okay? The title is Maybe, right? But notice, there is a dedication. Lindsay, there is a dedication. So if you're going to say the first lines, you have to read that dedication. It says, for Craig.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Please study your poem. No, read it carefully. So what the poem, I cannot linger on this, so I'm going to go quickly so that we go for another poem. But he's remembering Craig, and he's saying to himself, boy, I lost that opportunity with Craig. I really totally blew it, period. Okay, what if I would have said, I should have said something to Craig, to you, promise you something to Craig, right? But I did not. And of course, Lindsay, we need to remember that Richard Blanco is gay. So he felt attraction in this instance, but nothing happened. And he's kind of regretting that he didn't reach out, you know, he said, didn't say something to Craig, I'm attracted to you or something like that throughout the poem. Now, if you understand that, you understand the poem, and that's what we need to do. Okay, next one, Thicker Than Country, page 51. Who's got this poem?
I have it.
Great. Please read any 5 lines that you would like. Please read it first very slowly and then go quickly. Or conversational, not quickly, but conversational. But please, please, please read it slowly.
Okay, I'll probably just do the first 5 lines.
Thanks.
A Cuban living like me in Maine? Well, what the hell? Mark loves his native snow, and I don't mind it, really. I love icicles, even though I still decorate the house with seashells and starfish.
Okay, that was a slow. Maybe you are a really fast talker, and that's why that. But could you do it? Could you slow it more? I think this is the challenge, you know, to really slow it down. Please read it slowly, very slowly.
A Cuban like me living in Maine? Well, what the hell? Mark loves his native snow, and I don't mind it, really. I love icicles, even though I still decorate the house with seashells and starfish.
Yes, you know what? I think you added meaning by reading it more slowly or slowly. You added meaning to what you were saying, truly, okay? Now also I could give you this simple piece of advice to everybody. What if you see a period? What if you see it as a silence, as a moment of, you know, that you will let the audience wonder about what you will say next. Stop, okay? It's a stop sign, don't say anything for a couple of seconds and then continue on. Even if you want to produce, you know, more of a dramatic effect from time to time, but what we need is not necessarily a dramatic effect, right? We need to pull the audience in because they are, you know, like this, or they are thinking about little birds flying in the moon or something. So you need to pull them in, and a silence may be productive in that regard. Don't think that silence is not powerful and it's not part of your poem. It is part indeed of your poem and the meaning that you will convey. So use silences, use pauses, pause, you know, pause. A Cuban like me living in Miami, silence. Well, what the hell? And so we're talking about the tempo, right? We were talking about the tempo in the previous class. What if you use the tempo? You change it. You don't use all the time the same tempo, okay? Let's see if we can do something like that. I'm going to invite just anybody who would like to read. Anybody. I have my poems right here. Oh, and in terms of the poem, the meaning, the content of Thicker Than Country, um, he's just referring to his the fact that he is a Cuban who was brought up in Miami, but now he's in Maine, living with his husband, right? His husband of years. And then this is kind of a contradiction for him. How come, me, Cuban, here in Miami, this is not the place, but there is a beautiful ending for the poem. Could you read the ending, say the four last lines in the poem, Amaya? Notice the ending for the poem. Pay attention to the endings, by the way, your endings.
The last 4 lines?
Yes, please. Let's take a look at the ending.
I understand why the mountains here are enough. White with snow or green with palms. Mountains are mountains, but love is thicker than any country.
So the question here is, what is more important at times for me, for you, for people, right? What is it? What is it? What makes your life your life? What gives meaning to your life, right? What makes it enjoyable? I'm not going for anything very deep, but enjoyable, meaningful, if you will. Your life is making sense. Notice the ending of the poem. The poet says, love is thicker than any country, meaning, here is my love, right? My husband is here. Yes, I belong also in Miami. I am a Cuban American person, but that's not enough. I need to follow my relationship, and I have a commitment, and there is beauty in my relationship. So perhaps up to extent, Cuba and the Cuban American community is always with him, it's always with Richard, but he's now in Maine. And he needs to make this kind of negotiation, right? Cultural negotiation, and be part of Maine, be part of the mountains, be part of the snow. In Miami, of course, he was never to see any snow, right? So it's like saying at the beginning of the poem for me, yes, oh, look at this contradiction, right? Cuban, again, in Maine. But then he says, no, in fact, there isn't such a there's up to extent contradiction, but the fact that I am in this love relation, serious, committed love relationship, gives meaning to my life, and therefore for me, there is no contradiction. That's the way I interpret the ending, okay? Especially for Cuban Americans, because, oh, we are Cuban. we are Cuban, no matter what, right? Our ethnicity matters here. But he's saying, love matters, relationships matter, and so on and so forth. So I think I was inviting anybody would like to join the reading game. Okay, if not, then I'll go to Killing Mark, 52. Who's got Killing Mark? Anybody? No? Okay, I'll skip it. Page 62, Cooking with Mama. Page 62, Cooking with Mama in Maine. I'm gonna look at my list here. 62 is Yarikuyai. That's your poem.
I thought my poem was questioning cousin Elena.
Let's see it here.
Because you had told me that last time.
I posted this in the Raise Your Hand forum, right? And this is what I have.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like when you had said it, the list out loud last time, you said that Elena was my poem. Because remember you didn't assign Mirosa Wissel?
I'm sorry, I don't remember. But I sent a list and here notice. Cooking with Mama Maine. I don't
know
that's if you
fine.
Change the poem, I don't mind. But please refer to the list, okay? Because that's what I have. So what poem are you talking about, Yarikuyay?
No, it was questioning my cousin Elena, but it's fine. I'll do the cooking mama with Maine. I just got confused.
Thanks a lot. Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then I would like to, well, I would like to go to queer theory also, 34. And that's Bella, okay? Just in case, Bella, if she's here. So, Yarikuya, can you proceed to read one stanza slowly and then more conversationally?
Yeah. Um, so I'll read the first stanza. 2 years since trading mangoes for these maples, the white dunes of the beach for the white mountains etched in my living room window. I asked my mother to teach me how to make my favorite Cuban dish. That was me reading it slow.
That's the first reading. Second reading.
Um, 2 years ago since trading mangoes for these maples, the white dunes of the beach for the white mountains etched in my living room window. I asked my mother to teach me how to make my favorite Cuban dish.
Okay, I need somebody to comment. I really like the second version, and there is something that you added, but I would like to ask somebody. Mackenzie, what do you think about our second reading? Why was it more effective?
It flowed better.
Better flow. Okay, yeah, I think so. It looks like you were performing in terms of the sound quality of your reading. Kate, anything else that you noticed that she did well?
I know she placed more emphasis on her words, which kept the readers or the audience's attention.
I totally agree with you, Kate. Yes, yes, and I thought that she was giving color now to words, phrases, and sentences. So it really became more alive, as you were saying it. So of course, you all need to find your own rhythm, your tempo, the tempo that makes you feel comfortable, indeed. But this is quite important. Color your friends, your words, your phrases, and your sentences. Find a way to give it flavor. Now, what is this poem about? The poem is just an invitation, Okay, I'm far away from Miami, right? So I'm going to invite my mom to come visit here with us. And please, I need you to show me your recipe. Now, the funny thing is that his mom says in the end, I don't have a recipe. But haven't you seen that happens in the kitchen? That you would like for somebody to give you the recipe, but they say, no, I just know how to make it. I just know how to do it. I cannot give you the details. Okay, just watch me making the dish, and you'll learn. And so there's beauty in the ending as well. Could you read the ending, Yarikuyay? The last lines, page 63.
Okay. In a Pacific tone or just slow?
As you like.
Okay. But she answers every question when she raises the spoon to my mouth, saying, "Taste it, mijo. There's no recipe. Just taste."
Exactly. And you know what? I think that's what he wanted in the end. Yeah, he was talking about the recipe, but what he truly, truly likes is the fact that now he will enjoy the meal, right? But not alone, by himself, with his husband, right? And of course, with his mom. And I think he truly, truly loves the switching to Spanish here, okay? Because this means, again, relationship. And yes, if you are far away from your family and you miss them, and especially your mom, you need to invite your mom or your brother, your sibling, right? Somebody you feel really close to because you want to embrace them, hug them, share a meal with them, talk to them, and so on and so forth. So this is what the poem is celebrating throughout the whole entire, stanzas in my view. Now, if you are not less acquainted with the Spanish, tasted mijo, right, would be will be more complicated. But again, I'm insisting, try to do some Spanish and ask us, how can I say this? How can I improve my saying the words in Spanish? Notice one more thing too, and this many Latinx poets are doing nowadays, or have been doing for a while. What they do is to give you the Spanish, right? But then they also translate the Spanish within the piece, okay? And that's what Richard Blanco is doing for you, because he says, tasted mijo, like using the conversational Spanish, instead of saying me, am I, hijo, H-I-J-O, he goes mijo, mijo, right? Mijo, which is a way of saying I'm very close to you, really close, because I can be informal with you, mijo, okay? And I'm sure that Richard Blanco heard this phrase said tons of times as he was growing up, mijo, mijo. But then Richard Blanco adds, there is no recipe, right? And then just taste, and that's the translation. Just taste, okay? That's the translation for the Spanish. So poets and writers, Latinx writers, will not leave you like in a limb or somewhere out in space. No, they will come to help you with the language. Now, one more comment, because this may be useful for you. Throughout the poem, we have mentions like this. Second stanza, plantains. If you don't know what plantains are, look them up. But not only the description, go for the picture. Plantains, okay? Google them. Now, chorizos, what is that? Vino seco, I don't know what is vino seco. Today, this morning, I was wondering, I need to look this up. What does vino seco mean? Does anybody know? There's no translation for this one.
Like dry wine, kind of? Or like, yeah.
What is this? It must be very Cuban, like a Cuban tradition, because I'm not acquainted with vino seco, dry wine. I cannot even picture dry wine. Like it would be like dust. Okay. So, but chorizos, I know what that is. Okay. And then black beans, spices, right? Down the poem. And an important mention for Cuban Americans, page 63, the stanza that begins, she dices about one bell pepper. Notice the last line. Blanco writes, making sofrito to brown the roast. Sofrito. That's an important word for Cuban Americans, I know. So you gotta look it up, right? To understand what he means. You gotta look it up. Tienes que, okay? You have to. Any questions? So, guys, become scholars of your poems. Do some little research pertaining to your poem. If you find a word you're not acquainted with, you are the scholar, okay? You get to know your lines, your words very well, okay? All the cultural references. Now with Google, with YouTube, boy, we have tons of information ready, at our hands. So it's quite accessible, Okay, I said the next poem was to be, Queer Theory, page 34. And I think I said, but I don't think, or let me see who's got that poem. Bella Miller. Is Bella Miller here?
In the chat, she said there was an emergency that she had to leave for.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. Okay, we only have 2 minutes, so but we can do something with this. I wanted to show you that video, but let me stress the fact that I'm asking you to participate in the forum. So please post in the forum, okay, regarding your poem. Read your poem carefully and produce an interpretation of your poem. and share it with us, okay? That's what I'm saying. So killing Mark. His plane went down over Los Angeles. This is page 52. His plane went down over Los Angeles last week again. Or was it Long Island? Boxer shorts, her jail, his toothbrush, washed up on the shore at New Haven. But his body never recovered, I feared. Monday, he cut off his leg chain sewing, bled to death slowly while I was shopping for a new lamp. 5:25, still not phone call. Did someone knock? I'm expecting the sheriff by 6 o'clock. Mr. Blanco, I'm afraid. And let me leave you with that. Mr. Blanco, I'm afraid. How would you read that line? There are many ways maybe of reading that line, but all of a sudden in a poem, you have a character saying to you, right? Saying to the poet, Mr. Blanco,